My video for January the 18th, 2020 is video number 3339. The title is A Battle of Billionaires. As I've said many times, voting is useless in this world run by moneyed interests. Sheldon Adelson backed Donald Trump in 2016. Now in 2020, we see another billionaire, Michael Bloomberg, possibly running himself or financing a Democrat. John Delaney and Tom Steyer are also involved in this political circus. Yes, as always, it's about money, and the money masters are also experts at manipulation. It's a game of deception, a horrific game of clashing egos vying for control over the masses and over the rhetoric. Let me read a bit more of the piece by Jonathan Turley. I talked about this, or that I talked about in the previous video. Quote, as I have stressed, it is possible to establish a case for impeachment based on non-criminal allegation of abuse of power. However, although criminality is not required in such a case, clarity is necessary. That comes from a complete and comprehensive record that eliminates exculpatory motivations or explanations. The problem is that this is an exceptionally narrow impeachment, resting on the thinnest possible evidentiary record. I previously wrote that the current incomplete record is insufficient to sustain an impeachment case, end quote. I guess we, the people, do not really matter when it comes to politics. In reality, it's all about the money. I'm actually recording this video much later in the day than usual. In fact, it's pushing evening now as I'm making the recording because it was a very stressful event that took place last night, and I did not feel in a good enough frame of mind to actually record this morning, even though the blurb was already prepared and everything. I just could not bring myself to record at that time. And I can't say that I'm in a much better frame of mind right now because of things that happened last night, which is going to, I'm debating how to bring that out to the public. I'm not sure at this point. I still have one more video planned based on the Jonathan Turley's quote, and that one will deal with anger. But in any case, this whole impeachment fiasco to me is very nonsensical. I think I saw something earlier today that the actual proceedings aren't going to start till March. Now, if that's true, or was it February? I'm not sure, but I thought I saw something to that effect earlier, and I didn't add that to my notes or anything. It was just one of the things that I came across as I'm looking at articles and stuff like that that are sent to me, and I get articles sent to me all the time, as most of you probably know if you listen regularly. In any case, this is just a circus, folks. This is pure drama for the sake of dividing people against each other, and it works. I want to tell you, it works. I mean, as I've said in previous videos again, I have friends on both sides, those that love Donald Trump and those that hate him, and those that think that there's a political solution. I still don't see a political solution to the enormity of the problems that we have. And the big problem is that we've been lied to all of our lives, and the lies come from every direction. And it's all a game to keep us from focusing where we need to focus. And I know people will say, well, that's inside. No, it's both and. I'll keep on saying that because if you ignore what's going on around you, you're living in denial. And if you're living in denial, you can't reach, and from my perspective anyway, you can't reach enlightenment. And yet there are many, many, many teachers that are, from my perspective, again, teaching denial. You don't focus on what you don't want, because then you'll get more of it. I mean, I could name, but I'm not going to. I could name some of the spiritual teachers that have espoused this concept for a long time, and I bought into it to some degree for a long time as well. But I've always been motivated both by the religious experiences in various religions, because I've explored a lot of them, not all, but a lot of them. And of course, the political stuff, which has an effect on what's going on in our lives. And that political thing includes the financial aspects. It includes the United Nations and all of the institutions of government that we see in the world. They've all been infiltrated by what I consider dark forces that have an agenda to keep us fighting and butting heads with each other. As long as we're doing that, we're not going to have peace on earth, pure and simple. And will Earth be destroyed once again? Well, if the battle of billionaires continues, yes, we're going to find a way. That is, we as the human race are going to find a way to play the game that the billionaires want us to play, because we're being led by like sheep to the slaughter, as the expression goes. And the billionaires don't care. Some say they're not even human. Some say that they are just cloned individuals or robotic manifestations of some sort, or demons of another sort, but certainly not capable of telling the truth, not capable of living in integrity, because their integrity does not include love. It does not include any of the principles, the principles that we consider higher principles. It's all based on lies and deception. And it is a battle for our minds and perhaps our souls. Is that true? I'm even not sure of that anymore. I'm not sure of so many things that I took for granted most of my life. As I reach this time of exploring and looking at things, trying to keep an open mind, trying to bring balance and harmony to the whole thing. But sometimes events in my own life, with personal friends that I've known for a long time, just seem to rip apart any possibility of peace and challenge me to re-examine and reassess the situation in which not only I find myself, but in which humanity finds itself. Excuse me. And I'm struggling. I truthfully and honestly, I'm struggling. It's a battle for the consciousness and the conscience of me and of all of us. How is it going to come out? I mean, as I've said, I have friends that think Trump is God's gift to humanity and are going to bring in some great utopian civilization. And of course, there's been manipulation of the stock market and everything to make everything look good. Is that a charade? Is the curtain going to come down after the 2020 election when re-election is not an issue? I don't know the answer to these questions, but they're certainly valid questions to consider. And the outcome is going to depend, as I keep saying, on whether or not there is a loving Heavenly Father that's willing to take whatever steps are necessary to bring peace to planet Earth and to let us experience within and without that peace on earth and goodwill toward men. Thank you for listening, and namaste.